Jai Hind, friends. You all are welcome in the series of regular answer writing, day 21. Let us start with two questions. The first is examine the relevance of spirit of service, and second, a part of the question is courage of firm conviction. So you have to examine the relevance of these two values in your answer. This is for 8 marks. So, first of all, I will show you the difference in the answers I have seen. The same question I asked yesterday, not the same question, but the tone of the question was same. Just the value that I wanted yesterday to be discussed was a transparency, but the today it is a spirit of service and courage of firm conviction. So let us see. First of all, I will show you the difference. And so this is the link of the Telegram channel. You can scan this code and join this initiative. In this, every day in the morning I am giving you two PYQs, starting from ethics. So we have so far completed 3 units. This is the attitude and emotional intelligence, and the third one is probity in governance. And probity in governance has overlapping concepts from GS paper 2. So this will also be helpful in your paper 2. So in this I am not just giving you the content that you can write these many things in the answer, but I am helping you to how to generate more points, in the main body in the less time. I am giving you the framework, I am giving you the template of thinking, because most of you, I believe, as you are writing the mains, must be having content. But how to use that particular content in the form of answer, how to explain it, how to elaborate it, so that part I am focusing more. So let us begin. First, I will give you my opinion about this particular aspect, because most of you have requested that I am not comfortable with the word examine. Again, I am saying yesterday I have took that. So this examine word is, think about the examiner. What this person will do if you are an examiner, what you will do with a particular object or the question or something present before you. You will tell whether this is correct or not. And that particular thing for which you have to examine cannot be 100% white or black. There must be some gray area. So, taking advantage from that gray area, you have to elaborate the counter perspective. This is the meaning of examine. Means if you have written an answer, that answer will be uh, to some extent correct, and there will be also some scope of improvement. So when you are saying that there is these aspect missing, you can complement with other aspect. So that sort of argument you have to give. And in this particular question, it is not saying explain the relevance of this concept, spirit of service. It is saying examine the relevance. So mind the word. You have to examine the relevance. Yes, it is relevant because you will give the reason why it is important and how with the example. So I hope this is clear. And then you will say, no, 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 you cannot rely only on this. Sheer spirit of service will create these many problems. You need to balance it out. Yeah, you must complement it. So that sort of argument must come. I hope now it is clear. I will demonstrate it also. See, first of all, look at this copy. This is yesterday's copy. Uh, the same question was examine the relevance of following in the context of civil service. So this candidate has defined the transparency and written relevance of transparency in civil services. I am focusing more about the structure part, not the content. So listen to that very carefully. In this, the relevance of transparency in civil services means it is looking like you are explaining. You are explaining that what aspect पे आप discuss कर रहे हो, कि क्या है रेलेवेंस, एंड यू हैव गिवन थ्री मींस 2 पॉइंट्स, और यहां पर आपने लिख दिया कि हाउएवर द ट्रांसपेरेंसी इज सनलाइट बट देयर इज दीज आर द प्रॉब्लम. This is a better answer, I will say, but the crux is better but the tone is not. यहां पर रेलेवेंस को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना था कि ये रेलेवेंस है. यू हैव टू टेल व्हाई इट इज रेलेवेंट. ये एग्जामिन करना है. So see, means I want to say that this heading, the way it has been written, is improved today. Let us see. I will first jump to the showing you the answer. The same person. See, the person has defined the spirit of service. Anyway, whatever be the content, I'm not going in the nitty gritty of the content. Then the heading is examination of spirit of services ka relevance in civil services. So this heading aligns with the core demand of the question. Examine the relevance is asked, and heading very categorically says that I am examining what you have asked. Relevance in civil services, उसमें आप इसको ऐसे लिख देते, examination of relevance of spirit of civil services in, ये relevance को इधर पे लगा देते, थोड़ा better हो जाता. ठीक है, because if multiple words are there then using apostrophe s is not as good practice, so you can modify it in some way. But I am really happy that this person has improved based on the learning from the study. So if you are learning your mistake page, I again repeating it, mistake page mein every day commit a new mistake, don't repeat it, but most of you are not learning. That's why I have taken only this copy so far. I got those many copies. इनमें से I found only this one written in a better manner. So see, examination of the spirit of service. So it says it is relevant as. Now this person is giving the reasons why it is important with suitable examples. Although any day you can here and there change the content, but structure cannot be compromised. Then it says, however, if not balanced, it may lead to. Means spirit of service को अगर आप balance नहीं करोगे, there will be problems. So that sort of thing has been explained. In this question, 8 नंबर का था, 2 पेज हैं, 2 कॉन्सेप्ट हैं, then you can give 1 page. So this tone, the transition, the headings are being very well written. So please learn. Okay, so with that note, now I will give you some content on this aspect. So listen, it is saying that spirit of service पे आपको इसका relevance को examine करना है. Then you will say yes, it is relevant because first. Means you can define the spirit of service, yes, that it is a passionate commitment to the public interest, and you are prioritizing despite adversities, the service to the people, for the people, rather than for the personal gain. Okay, that sort of argument you can write any day. So be precise in that. So you can bring that. Then you will say it is relevant because. Now you are giving the reasons. Mind it. You are giving the reasons. Why? First, you will say if person is driven by spirit of service. I have told you one day that while I was discussing the syllabus of the previous unit, the probity in governance, the first topic says concept of public service. In that I told you, concept of public service is when you enters the public service, you loses your individuality. Means for you, individual personal gain becomes secondary. The public interest becomes the primary factor of your decision making. So if person is driven by spirit of service, means now second task is to bring better argument and examples. So I am focusing on that part now. First I have explained how to structure it, then comes content, because content is always a king. ठीक है, तो अभी देखिए इसको. It is that if you are driven by spirit of service, there will be passionate commitment to public interest. You are committed to the public interest, that yes, I will, come what may, will uphold the public interest. So it is the case. So in that you will prioritize the greater good of community. For example, I have given you this example just reminding you, when the building is under fire, everyone come out of the fire, but the firefighters enters. क्या इस बंदे को अपनी जान प्यारी नहीं है? बिल्कुल प्यारी है, but this person is driven by spirit of service, that I have to serve the people, those inside. Think about the COVID warrior or the bomb squad जो होता है अपना, or uh, the the army personnel at the border, or the traffic police. All we are keeping inside. Schools बंद हो गए, 50% attendance in the offices, Delhi government, but traffic police is standing amid the vehicles going on. So why this person is standing? Is this person is not concerned about his lungs or her lungs, but this person is committed to the spirit of service. Although this person will take precautions and put the mask and all, but it is what it is. The better example, the firefighter and the COVID warrior. Everyone was in the lockdown and all, but they were at the forefront, bearing the brunt. I hope this example and the argument is clear. If you are driven by spirit of service, there will be passionate commitment to the public interest. That sort of argument must be there. Second, sense of responsibility. Think about the doctors and the teachers. I am taking these examples because the health and the education are the public good and basic necessity for the human development. So if it is the case, so these doctors and the teachers has the responsibility. Means these are the people very skilled. इनके पास बहुत स्किल होती है, बहुत नॉलेज होती है, everything they have. But they somehow not able to demonstrate these skills or knowledge with integrity because they lack the sense of responsibility. There is a sense of means kind of just ठीक है, चलता है culture. So that चलता है culture compromises spirit of service. In contrast to, in general, the officers, the doctor and the teacher you are witnessing in the when you visit the hospitals and the schools. In contrast to that, think about an officer like Divya Mittal. Sense of responsibility, because I am an IS officer or in charge of this district or this area, I have to bring water for the people. That is absent as a basic necessity since last 75 years. We are in the Amrit Kal. Who else will work? That I am responsible. That sense of responsibility will come when there is a spirit of service. I'm giving you very concrete examples and argument. Put these points. It's okay you have not written this time, but the same question will be repeated in the exam. Please do write. Third, help overcome inherent barriers. If you are driven by spirit of service, you will not say that rules are not allowing, because UPSC asked the question that a public service or the public officers can do anything, they have a lot of power except what is explicitly prohibited. They can do anything except what is explicitly prohibited in the law. So a person driven by a spirit of service, the positive minded officer, will overcome all the inherent barriers. He will take care of the red tapeism, the rules will not become the end, the chalta hai culture will go. So all sort of things you can write. In that you can give an example. Today I am sharing one more example of E. Sridharan, his work. Means a road project was pending for 4 years. ऐसा नहीं था कि there were no engineers before E. Sridharan. That project was pending just because road was need to be widened, and वो road widening का जो project था वो stall हो गया था because nobody was there to talk to the people and ensure the road widening. So with the advent of E. Sridharan, he ensured that road was widened, although it was pending for 4 years. So it shows that he has overcome the inherent barriers because he was driven by spirit of service. He wanted that there must be outcome. I hope this is clear. Fourth, you can write that there will be, if there is a spirit of service, there will be focus on substantive role, not procedural role ki I have done this, I have done that, but what is the outcome. तो सब्सटेंस क्या है, उस पे फोकस हुआ है या नहीं. So that substance will come when you have the spirit of service. Then you can bring the aspect of selflessness, the person working in the Naxal area, the CRPF that works. They work in a difficult area, selflessness aspect. Then next you can write the aspect of preventive and proactive step. For example, I have given you one scenario where an IAS officer or the IPS officer, what they will do? They will conduct the peace meeting whenever they find there are communal fault line. So these communal fault line means the scenario or the problem that may become a blunder or the rights like situation in future. So these communal fault lines will be nipped in the bud. So these sort of argument you will give. Keep, if spirit of service hai, then this person will take proactive approach, proactive step. Seventh, one may say that okay, it's okay, I am honest, I am not doing anything wrong, but what about the governance? This person will focus that what is the exact outcome. So although I am good, but I have to ensure that team with me is also properly behaved. ठीक, वो भी अच्छे से बात कर रहे हैं. They are also maintaining highest level of integrity and professionalism. So that sort of professionalism, think about the example I gave you, the flyover and JE, junior engineers were there. They were inspecting it daily basis. But what happened at the final stage when superior examined that and found their fault? Means if person is driven by spirit of service, he will act as maximalist guy, not be a minimum guy. Think about family man. Be a maximalist guy. So this person will not only maintain his own integrity, but also ensure probity in governance. So this person will put in place the checks and balances, internal risk management system, internal audit system, all sort of thing you can write. I hope this is clear to all of you. Then you will say, if this person is so much passionate or driven, dedicated to the spirit of service, think about a young dynamic SP. The UPSC asked the case study. There is a young dynamic SP named Sunil, recently posted in a mining area. This person has reached the mining area, driven by spirit of service that I will not let the mafias to compromise the rights of the tribal people. But he was so engrossed with the spirit of service too much that he became reckless. For him, empathy became the prime guide. और क्या हुआ उससे? He was killed. He was killed. Met with an accident and the truck उसके ऊपर से गुजार दिया. So you must be driven by spirit of service, but remember two things. First, rule of law must be upheld. Empathy नहीं होना चाहिए आपका top guiding principle. And second, take adequate precautions. Young dynamic SP यार अपना पूरा फौज लेके जाता. Why has gone alone? Yes, it is required spirit of service, but that spirit of service should not create the burnout. COVID warrior को, how will the doctor का example I gave you? I am again and again repeating the same points. Think on those lines. So इस पे ज़्यादा focus नहीं करना है, but give sufficient space. Second is courage of firm conviction. This I have already discussed yesterday. Courage of conviction. So firm conviction, not much will change. Just I have given you many examples and what it is. The example of I gave you the example of I am TN session. Okay, so all sort of example you can write. TN session epic पे reform किया, and the Ashok Kim का you can write that despite multiple challenges the firm conviction remain. I gave you the example of E. Sridharan lobbying वाला aspect जो था Japan versus Germany. So all sort of example you can give, and I think आप यहाँ पर one thing I found disturbing in this answer, what I have demonstrated, I have yesterday told you Aristotle's golden mean. वो aspect missing था. Try to bring philosophers in some way or other. Reckless or cowardice के बीच में आता है courage of conviction. So that sort of argument you can always add. I think now I am moving to the next question. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I am taking a 5-10 minute 5-10 second pause. You can ask your doubt. Okay, I think let's move ahead. So the second question is, what are the basic requirements of compassion? What are the basic requirements of compassion? So first part is the basic requirement. Basic requirements of compassion. Okay. Second part is, what is the need of compassion? See, this is the compassion. So if you want to develop the compassion, what are the basic requirements of compassion? Means if you want to become a compassionate person, what you all must have. So one part is backward linkage. Another part is, if you have compassion in civil services, what is the need? Means if you have compassion, what positive change you will bring? Or if you don't have, then what will be the negative impact? So think on both aspect. कुछ डायरेक्ट लिखो और कुछ इनडायरेक्ट लिखो. That if compassion is this, weaker section को ये फायदा. If there is no compassion, then this नुकसान. I am giving you the framework to think. Anytime the need and the importance of particular thing is asked, you can go for comparative aspect. आप compare कर सकते हो. I hope this is clear. So one is backward linkages पे question, other is the forward. And this question is of 12 mark. So you will give 1.5 page and 1.5 page. यहाँ पे including conclusion, यहाँ पे including introduction. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now let us move to one DPSP. I want to show you the compassion towards weaker section in civil services. So why weaker section word is used? Let us see this page. This is Article 46 of the Constitution of India, that is DPSP. Directive principle of state policy means these are the direction or the guiding light for the government to frame the policies and for the parliament to make the law. So many times the political party promises in its manifesto the things mentioned in the DPSP. Okay, so it is about, read this: promotion of educational and the economic interest of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other weaker section. Let's see this word, other weaker section. And someday or the other, the UPSC can ask you a question that which kind of sections or the people, the category of the people mentioned in the constitution for which the government have to take the adequate step. So the word of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and the minority is mentioned. You can think about the word like OBC, other backward class, because we have National Commission for Backward Class. So backward class word likha hai, not other. Backward class word and weaker section. This word can be tricky for many, so I have just demonstrated. So it says promotion of educational and economic interest for these people. State shall promote with special care. Listen, this special care will come only with compassion. What? The educational and economic interest of the weaker section of the people, and in particular the SCs, the STs, and shall protect them from social injustice and all form of exploitation. So I am trying to show you that the argument you can take from this also, that promote, so if there is compassion, you can provide the special care. Weaker section of the people, SC, ST, and shall protect them from social injustice. So compassion again is required for improving the social justice. So this can be your second argument. Protect them from exploitation. Then third. So these sort of argument you can give. Let us talk about first about the need uh, of being compassionate. So word says the basic requirement of compassion. अगर किसी के पास compassion है तो उसके पास क्या क्या होना चाहिए. First, let us think what I have already taught. Yesterday I was talking that tolerance क्यों important है. Tolerance is important for a person to become compassionate. So today the question has been asked in other way around. Ki what is important for compassion? So you will say the tolerance is important. I hope this is clear. And I have given you example also. So I'm not explaining this part. First. Second, you can think about, I have taught you the emotional intelligence. So you need emotional intelligence for compassion. You can give the example of you need a social awareness. किसी पता तो हो पहले लोगों के बारे में, तभी तो पता करोगे compassion है, तभी तो compassion create होगा. So let us first discuss what is the difference between the sympathy, the empathy, and the compassion. I am breaking the flow of the argument, but I find that this conceptual clarity is missing in many of you, as I have seen in the answers. So sympathy, and this question can be asked that what is the difference between sympathy, empathy, and compassion, and the commission can take any two of them. So first you will write what it is. So the sympathy is about the feeling of pity or sorrow for somebody else के misfortune. Means you are sitting in a car and at the red light you have found that one a 4-year 5-year-old kid and asking begging. So you are feeling pity or sorrow about this person's misfortune, that bichara his tender is getting compromised, and जैसे ही गाड़ी चली you forgot about it. So it is very momentary. ठीक है, momentary है अगर हम टाइम की बात करें. This is related to your cognition. So you can talk about the aspect. This is time. So aspect, I'm giving you the criteria. किस पे सोचोगे? The cognition. Your mind will say that yes, okay, this is misfortune, unfortunately. Okay. Then comes the approach. What will be the approach? Approach will be like, I care about your sufferings. This will be the approach. But there will be no action. At best, you can give 1 rupees or 10 rupees or whatever. Means instant you can do anything, but no action to alleviate the suffering or misfortune. This is the sympathy. Think about the empathy. Empathy is the capacity to imagine oneself in situation of others. Okay? Means you have a capacity. If you have empathy, then you will be having the capacity to imagine oneself. अपने आप को आप imagine कर पाओगे in a situation of others. Means what others are experiencing. You can think about their experience, their ideas, their emotions. ठीक है, तो दिस इज अ इमेजिन एंड फीलिंग. सो यहाँ पे आपका कॉग्निटिव एस्पेक्ट भी होगा और इमोटिव एस्पेक्ट भी होगा. इट विल बी अ बिट नॉट मोमेंटरी बट शॉर्ट. देयर विल बी कॉग्निटिव एस्पेक्ट एंड इमोटिव एस्पेक्ट. इन दैट यू विल से, इधर हम क्या बोल रहे थे, आई केयर योर सफरिंग. हियर यू विल से आई फील योर सफरिंग. मुझे भी एहसास हो रहा है दैट आपको कैसा लग रहा होगा. बट इन दैट केस यू हैव जस्ट सेड मैं दुखी हूं कि बच्चा भीख मांग रहा है. बट यू आर नॉट फीलिंग कि मैं भीख मांग रहा होता तो क्या होता. If you will think like that, then it is empathy. Yet you are not taking any suitable action. So this is also less action oriented. The third is compassion. So think about empathy plus action. You are feeling that yes, it is going wrong, it is bad. In this you can give the quote of standing on the shoes of others. दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ आप बता सकते हो, यहाँ पे ये फ्रेज यूज कर सकते हो. इन कंपैशन यू विल से एम्पैथी प्लस एक्शन. So you are feeling the pain and you are driven by action, that I will take all the possible steps to alleviate the suffering. If someone says that I am so much upset today because there is huge amount of syllabus, there's too much for exam, what should I do? अगर आपने जिंदगी में कभी प्रिपेयर नहीं किया है, आप ऐसे आदमी को बता रहे हो, देन ही विल से बेचारा फंस गया, कहाँ फंस गया गलत चीज में, और इतना सारा सिलेबस है, पता नहीं क्यों ही. Sometimes let's joke apart, but the person who are not uh, means aware about the situation, then he will say yeah काफी गलत हुआ है. Others will say, sometimes the peer group will say हाँ यार मुझे भी ऐसा ही फील होता है, बिकॉज मेरे को भी ऐसा ही लग रहा है, बहुत सिलेबस है. बट द वन मोटिवेटेड टू एलिविएट योर सफरिंग, yes there is problem, I have some plan, I can execute this, so the things will improve. I think that is the guiding light for me to take this session or start this initiative, that I have personally felt there is problem for the candidates in ethics and essay or other part, so let us do something. So that's why I started, and sometime I find myself in a situation that I request the people that please do this, but they find okay, let's leave it anyway. So this getting personal anyway. So it is empathy plus action. So n, this is a kind of an empathetic empathetic emotion. Compassion is an empathetic emotion, and empathetic emotional response, I will say, rephrase it, empathetic emotional response to another person's pain. Means you have seen person in pain or in suffering, then you have an empathetic emotional response, and the response is of the manner that you will take all the necessary steps to alleviate the suffering or ease the person's condition. So that is the case in with the compassion. Means the action part will come. Then this is a long term. This will not vanish in one day कि ठीक है हो गया बस, और मोमेंट्री नहीं है, शॉर्ट टर्म नहीं है. इट विल बी विद यू फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, जब तक आप इसको ठीक नहीं कर लोगे. थिंक अबाउट द कैलाश सत्यार्थी, मदर टेरेसा, मलाला यूसुफजाई, चाइल्ड राइट्स, the people suffering from some disease, Malala Yousafzai, education, Baba Amte, I think the leprosy वाले लोगों को treat करा. So it is about the cognition, the emotions and behavioral aspect. This will go long. Here you are thinking, not just I care about you, not just feel about you, but I want to relieve you from this pain. This is the thing. Okay, so here your action was absent in sympathy and less action in empathy, but in compassion you will collaborate to resolve the problem. I hope this is clear. So you will collaborate to resolve the problem. So this is the difference, and I was talking about this, and you can take one example of compassion. This is Election Commission of India going for home voting. So if Election Commission of India going for home voting, means this person, the commission has some sort of empathy or the compassion that elderly cannot reach the booth, so we have to ensure no one left behind, that they are going for home voting. So why I have discussed this, to show you that, see, read this question ka answer, that compassion is a deep awareness, sympathy, why are you using this term? Because there is a difference between compassion and sympathy, and a desire to alleviate the sufferings of other. Compassion goes beyond empathy. My point is, when you are explaining a term, so don't explain it in a manner that you will be using the different term of a related concept. So don't use the related concept together. Use different words. आप इसमें ये लिखो that compassion is about empathy plus action. You not just feel but try to alleviate the pains and consistently make effort. or collaborate to resolve the issue. So all these things you will write. I hope this is clear. Okay, so having done with the differences between sympathy, empathy, and compassion, let us now move to the core demand of the question, that is the basic requirement for compassion. So, basic requirement में you can give the first argument. I have already told you that it requires the thing I have suggested. It was you need tolerance. I gave the idea how you will think that yesterday I discussed if you have tolerance you will develop the compassion. Now they are asking the requirement, then you will say requirement of tolerance, requirement of emotional intelligence. Here the requirement of emotional intelligence may you will say link with the two concept. The component of emotional intelligence is social awareness, means you know what people want, then only there will be empathy, the feeling, and then you will be motivated to take actions. तो सोशल अवेयरनेस होना चाहिए एंड दूसरा यू विल से दैट देर विल बी सेल्फ रेगुलेशन, द पार्ट ऑफ टॉलरेंस कि यू विल accept the differences and the celebrate and the respect the differences. So that sort of argument is required. So here you can give the example of और टॉलरेंस में आप एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं ट्राइबल पीपल का, दैट दे हैव डिफरेंट वे ऑफ लिविंग, देन यू विल रिस्पेक्ट दैट. इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस में सोशल अवेयरनेस, अगेन यू विल गिव द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म के जो लोग हैं, यू विल नॉट सी द सिचुएशन ओनली एज अ law and order problem, but you will also consider it as a thing that yeah so law and order problem, but also take it holistically. So you will go for samadhan, the problem ka overall approach, holistic approach. So that sort of, if there is compassion, you will understand what they are feeling, why they are doing that, so that having higher purpose in life, all sort of argument you will give. Then you will have sensitivity to suffering. आपके पास सब कुछ है, टॉलरेंस है, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस, बट यू आर नॉट सेंसिटिव टू द सफरिंग. Means if you have seen the person or seen the thing that okay, this person is uh, having this problem, but you are not able to understand the non-verbal cues. Okay, means if you are not understand the non-verbal cues, then how you will say ki, he is suffering or she is suffering. For example, the PDS officer and the old lady without document, or the Jharkhand 12-year-old girl died because of all these things. Means she didn't get the food because of biometric mismatch. And you can understand the Rajiv Raturi case, the KYC norm of the PWDs and all. The fourth, you need patience. Although you have tolerance, you have emotional intelligence, you have sensitivity to suffering, but the person is not willing to accept your suggestion or not willing to accept your actions, then also you can't say that okay, means how I can do, means just leave it. So it requires consistent patience to develop the trust. Once the trust is there, then only this person will accept that okay, this person has the trust that okay, if I follow this there will be alleviation of my suffering or pain or something. So that sort of patience is required. This is the requirement. The fifth you will say that it requires action oriented approach. Action oriented approach means you are not just feeling empathy, you are not just standing on the shoes of the other, but you are willing to bring the behavioral aspect. That action oriented approach is required. I hope these many points are sufficient to write the answer, that yes, you need all these requirements to be fulfilled, that so that you will become a compassionate person, or true sense you will be called as man of compassion. Having done that, let us move to the aspect of that compassion is required for the weaker section in civil services. So what will happen if person has compassion in the civil services? So think that rules, again I am giving you the same thing. See, there is a law, take it as a, there is logic or there is intuition or the vision, सो लॉजिक विल से फॉलो द लॉ, और द sheer objectivity के जो काउंटर थे, all these things you can write. Okay, so think about the rules will not become the end, means rules से आप role based पे चले जाओगे. You will not just do the bare minimum, but you will go for the maximalist approach. You will think about bottom up approach. There will be inclusiveness. Okay, there will be innovation. You will not think कि अभी क्या करना है. You will think कि I have to alleviate this pain and I will propose a suggestion that is acceptable to the person. Then only you will be considered as man of compassion. So innovation. Again, you will make effort to become people's officer. People's officer या people's person. सो रूल से रोल की तरफ जाना, माई फार्म माई विलेज, माई स्कूल माई फार्म, और एबल कैफे, मिनिमलिस्ट से मैक्सिमलिस्ट. यू कैन टॉक अबाउट एनी एग्जाम्पल से the example of Avnish Sharan, bike ambulance, bottom up approach. Think about the self help group. Compassion है तभी तो हो पा रहा है. Think about inclusiveness, Osmanabad collector, sitting with the person with disability on floor. So if this person is sitting on floor, it will give these PWDs the sense of belongingness. Means the power distance between an officer, IAS officer of that level, and the PWDs is too much. If this officer is showing that I am approachable, means power distance will reduce. Innovation, you will bring innovative aspects to solve the problems, will come with compassion. Not just ki you will deny that, okay, you don't have the document, go and I can't do anything. You will explore the innovation, you will engage with the NGOs. Okay, then the people's officer you will become. And think about one example I got very wonderful. LGBTQ community पे अपना वर्डिक्ट डिलीवर करना था एक जज को, जज ऑफ मद्रास हाई कोर्ट. सो व्हाट दिस जज डिड, this judge spent some time knowing about the LGBTQs. He spent some time reading about them or interacting with the people of this community before delivering the judgment. So if person is driven by compassion, he will hone its skill, his skill or her skill. He will work, improve, take knowledge. So think about Mission Karmi Yogi, Yoga Karmashu Kaushalam. Again and again I am repeating the same thing. That because you are motivated, you are driven, that I have to bring change and bring the solutions that are acceptable to the person or the target group. So that sort of argument you can give. At the last, you can always write that how to inculcate it. Who all can play a role that person become a compassionate? This is the question asked in 2024 and will be there in due course of time. So again, there comes the role of family. There is child rearing practices, the educational institution. You can think about the role model, Kailash Satyarthi, Mother Teresa. Religion can tell you that you become a man of compassion. The Buddhism. Then think about the role of media. I given you a quote that what eyes don't see, the heart cannot grieve for. The role playing का ये example है Madras High Court वाला judge का. So all these things you can write and see. I am happy with the answer this candidate has written. Quite well. The dimensions are covered in a better manner. But I will suggest please improve your understanding with respect to the example. Same thing. Oral RTI filing for people who are unable to write. There is no provision of filing RTI orally. Adequate assistance will be provided by the PIO to the person willing to file an RTI but unable to write. So adequate assistance will be provided so that oral thing can be converted into the paper. This understanding I want to make it correct. And second, think about this. Changes in KYC procedure in Rajiv Raturi case. Rajiv Raturi case में Supreme Court has asked that adequate necessary changes must be brought to make the thing inclusive. ये चेंज नहीं कर दिया था इन्होंने. So rationalize your points what you are writing. Professional burnout, fatigue, rule breaking scenario, yeah, that these points are okay, but please improve on those aspects. ठीक है. Then see in this, this is the wastage of the space. Four pillar of compassion. भाई कैसे हैं ये पिलर, फिर वो वाली भी बात बताओ. Why do you consider them as a pillar? So improve the definition, improve this. Basic requirement non judgment, example नहीं है. Common humanity and distress tolerance, mindfulness. ठीक है, mindfulness aspect is good. So give examples at least in one two. Compassion, last mile delivery, dignity for the hungry and the poor. I found the very good thing in this answer. He or she, whoever this candidate, has included the type of weaker section. Not in this, but see, weaker section hungry or poor, weaker section tribal rights, weaker section divyangjan, weaker section manual scavengers. But in this question you have to improve two aspects. First, question is about अगर कंपैशन होगा तो वीकर सेक्शन को कैसे फायदा होगा. Then why are you saying empathy? Don't use similar keywords. Here you are saying compassion for women safety. भाई वही तो वो पूछ रहा है कि compassion होगा तो women safety कैसे होगी. Bring why, how. So you don't repeat such word. So these are the mistakes I am pointing out. Way forward, how to develop it. Don't just say कि अंत्योदय mindset and this. Also bring that compassion एक दिन में नहीं बन जाएगा. If a man is man of compassion, so this person has been given multiple things. The family has played an important role. Child rearing practices, educational institutions, उसके teacher बहुत अच्छे मिले होंगे. That's why he has got this. Very good company this person might have got, peer group. So that's why it is. So take a holistic coverage when you are giving the way forward. And don't say way forward, right? Way to bring compassion in the mindset or the approach or the behavior. And you are saying the Supreme Court for the poorest person, civil servant को वो होना चाहिए. And really I'm not aware that whether second ARC has said this or not, but surely if it is there, must be read somewhere. Okay with that. Wonderful. I have learned that. And so this is all from my side. Thank you.